Today we're going to start with graphing. Now I will tell you that graphing is one of the most important parts of algebra, and if you do not understand graphing, algebra, calculus, anything beyond that in math is going to be very hard. You will not get rid of graphing points or plotting points ever in math once you get to the upper levels. So if you really want to be a successful math student, I would highly recommend really getting down the graphing part. So today we're going to start and we're going to talk about what is called a coordinate plane. And so basically what you have is you're going to have a coordinate plane, and the coordinate plane is formed by the intersection of two lines. And I'll be going through that in a minute so you can actually see what it means. The horizontal line is called the x-axis, and horizontal is a word that they're going to use a lot in mathematics and in other places. So you need to remember that your horizontal line is going to be a line that goes this way. It's going to go back and forth. Think of it as, when you look out at a horizon. So that's how I was always told to remember it. So that is horizontal. Then the next one says you have a vertical line. The vertical line is called the y-axis. And so again, this term is going to be very important later on in math. And so for a vertical line, that means it's going to go up and down like this. So if you want to draw those next to it so that you know where they're going to be, that would be very helpful. So a vertical line goes up and down just like this. And I'm going to draw the arrows because you can then see it's actually a line. Okay? And then the plane is divided into four regions called quadrants. So that word is quadrants. It's a very big word, but it's actually not that scary. But we just call them quadrants. There's going to be four quadrants, and you'll see what they are. And then the origin is where the two numbers intersect. So now I'm actually going to draw this out, and you're going to actually label it on here, but mine's going to look a little bit different, but it's the same thing. So let's actually go through and label the parts for this. Now mine actually starts with nothing, but yours is going to have a graph, but you can still kind of see what it is. So if you remember from what we just said, it says your horizontal line. So this line that goes back and forth like this is a horizontal. And later on, you're going to actually have to learn how to draw your own graphs, but right now you don't have to worry about it. So then this is your horizontal line, and if you remember, if you look up above, this is your x-axis. So you're going to label that the x-axis. Then you can draw a line, and it's going to go up and down, vertical. So the vertical line like this is going to so we look up above again to see what the vertical line is going to be called, and we call this our y-axis. And usually when you actually do it, you just say x and y. You don't have to write axis anymore once you get to that point, okay? Now the next thing they talk about is quadrants. So you have four quadrants. I'm going to put them in a different color and a little bit bigger for you so you can kind of see what they are. So the quadrants are over here. They're each of the four sections. And so what we say is we call this one quadrant 1, and we don't say quadrant 1. We actually use a Roman numeral. So that's the difference, is now because you have it that way, you want to write it as a Roman numeral, quadrant 1. Then you go around counterclockwise, so think of a clock and go backwards. This one's going to be quadrant 2. Then you go down and it's going to be quadrant 3. Again, we're using Roman numerals. We will not use actual numbers. That's very important. And then we have quadrant 4. So those are your four quadrants. So you start in the top, in the upper right one, and then you go around in a circle that is counterclockwise to label your four ones. And then there's one more thing that we have to label. This is the last thing that they say on there is the origin. So this here is the origin, and it's going to be a point that is 0, 0. So my origin, and I'm going to move it so that I can draw a line. I'm going to draw a line so you can see where the origin is. So the origin is actually right here and it is a 0.00. So in yours, you're going to have to label it just like this. So quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going to have an x-axis, a y-axis, and an origin on yours. The next thing you need to know about in graphing is called an ordered pair. So the ordered pair is the set of numbers that describe the location of the coordinate plane. So you're going to have an x value. Again, it's the one that's going left to right, and your y value, the one that's going up and down. And so the x value is called the value of x is called the x, and it gives you the location of the x-axis on the x-axis where it is in relation to the x-axis, and the y is in relation to the y-axis. So I'm going to actually do one of these for you, and then I'm going to have you, I'll do A and B, and I'll have you try the next one. So you need to look, okay, so we look and see where's A. Well, A is up here. So you can see A is right here. And then you can count 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know that my x-axis is 4 because I just counted 4. And then you count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And your y-axis is 5. So basically all you're doing is you're counting where is it located. You put your 4 first, how far you move right to left, and then you write down how far you move up and down your y. So now let's find B. Well, B is over here. Another thing I did not say on there is that when you're doing your x and y axis, if you go up, these are positive values, and to the right is positive, and to the left is negative, and down is negative. So that's going to be something you need to know too. So let's go back and let's look. You go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be -5 because you go in the negative direction. And then you go down 1. So that would be a -1, okay? So you have to remember, you write your x value, how far you moved on the x, and your y value, how far you moved on your y. So I'll do one more just so you guys can see it one more time. So C is right here. So I count 1, 2, 3. So that one's going to be over 3. So your x value, and 1, 2, 3, down -3. Later on, you're going to use the kind of the same thing when you do your slope, but you're not doing that now. I'm going to have you try D, E, F, and G. And then I will look and see how you're doing, and then I will call on people to do it. And then I want you to try also the next page, which is identifying the ordered pairs. It looks like this, and I think it's just below on your Word document. And so you're going to try this one also. So you're going to identify the ordered pairs, and it is on the next page, and then tell what location, what quadrant is in. So I'll just give you an example for letter A. So I look at letter A, and I'm going to say, well, my ordered pair for this one is, okay, let's see, I go back -1 for my x, so -1, and then I go up 1, 2, 3 for my y, so it's 3. The location is in quadrant 2. So you can write out quadrant 2, or you can just say sorry, my handwriting's not the best, 2. So you want to say it's in quadrant 2. So that's what they're saying when they say the location. Which quadrant is it located? So you'll do these two. So you have a little bit to do now. You're going to be doing this one where you do your ordered pairs, and you're going to do this one where you have ordered pairs. So you have two different ones you're going to do. An ordered pairs for this one, ordered pairs for this one, and then, oops, wrong one. And then you're going to write your quadrants right here. It's this one right here, okay? And then we'll go through it as a class.